Welcome to another episode of the Entrepreneur Experience Podcast. And as always, we have dope entrepreneurs here from the Bay. And you're here, you're watching. So because you're here and you're watching, you're here for a reason. So I need you to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel so you can keep getting this valuable information and you can keep meeting these dope entrepreneurs that I bring on. Especially today's episode is so cool. Number one, I want to shout out Trap Gods because they are the sponsor for this episode. You feel me? Check out the drip. Check out the swag one time. Because we always trapping. We are trapping. We in there. We making our money. We doing our thing. And as a podcaster, this is my trap. All right. So I have a very special guest here. And I would like for her to introduce herself. Let the people know who you are and what it is that you do.
Hi, everybody. I'm so excited to be here and really thankful and made it.
Yes.
So my name is Khrey, and I am a life coach. I ground restless entrepreneurs, restless souls, and really help them connect deeply with their intuition, come back home and feel energetically aligned with their mind, body, and soul. So what I basically do is I combine science, spirituality to help someone to really break through, untether parts of them that they have forgotten, and remember their inner power so they can fully, authentically show up in different spaces of their lives.
Okay.
I'm also from San Francisco.
Frisco in the
But
house.
I'm also Filipina.
Okay.
Yeah, I was born and raised in the Philippines. And this is something that I am very passionate about, this work that I do. And it's a life's work. So I'm really excited and grateful to be here.
How long have you been here?
I came here when I was 8.
Okay.
Yeah. And went back home to finish school and then come back again to just settle in. Yeah.
Okay. Well, so we don't know your age though, so we don't know how long you've been here. So just give us a rough estimate of like approximately how long you've been
In
Frisco.
Yeah. Less than 20 years.
Less
yeah.
than 20. Okay,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
good. You from Frisco. You got you. You from Frisco. Okay. I kind of want to deep dive into it because what you do is very interesting. So a cheat code for me is like I like to interview dope people like yourself, right? And in the process of me interviewing dope people like you, I kind of get like free training in a sense. So it's like someone is watching this and they hear you saying like, okay, this is what I do, and they may not have a full understanding, right? So I'm an entrepreneur. Let's say I am coming to you for help. What does that look like?
So usually people who come to me already have established their business. And one of the things that they have is their fear of success. So there's one point that they don't understand. It's just like energetically, emotionally, that they're striving so hard to get to the goal, to if it's tangible or if it's something, the vision that they're trying to fulfill, but they can't really pinpoint what that is.
Okay.
It's usually something that they have felt disconnected in their body. And somehow it starts with the mind,
Right.
which is subconscious ways of being. And one of my clients actually who has been a tenure in barber, or she has her own business, and she's been wanting to scale her business, but parts of her feel like she's not good enough. And after 10 years, I feel like I wanted to scale, I wanted to move differently, I wanted to show up differently. But every time I show up in the online world, say for example,
For sure.
I feel like I'm an imposter. I feel like I can't really fully showcase what I am.
Okay.
But the truth is it would come back down to who you are truly at your core. So most of the entrepreneurs, the whys would usually be driven by either I want to chase money or I want to prove people, wrong.
Right.
But when you know who you truly are internally at your core, it creates a huge foundation in showing up and taking risk and taking a leap in just diving deep into different spaces that are scary or that are uncomfortable.
Okay.
So what I help them is basically create a framework, a process to break through that. So whatever we perceive exists,
For sure.
right?
For sure.
And I bring in several transmodalities. I start with how emotionally in tune you are, because our emotions is our energy in motion.
Yeah.
So how emotionally intelligent are you? So we create this assessment and I go through that process with them. Are you fully aware of your internal dialogues?
Yeah.
Say your inner critic, right? Are you aware of your inner voices? So I guide them to become fully aware on that aspect of their well-being because we're constantly doing and doing,
Yeah, we are. For
and we
sure.
don't usually pay attention to the voice.
Right.
And as an entrepreneur, I find entrepreneurship as spiritual. So if you're not connected, so there's part of you that would go in the rat race and you would just be consistently perceiving yourself from your old functioning system.
Okay.
So that's what I practically help them.
Okay. So let's go back. I'm an entrepreneur. As an entrepreneur, let's say I've been doing this for a while, but I want to scale or get to the next level, but I have this imposter syndrome, right? Because that's what it sounds like you're describing, right? Someone having imposter syndrome, and where they feeling like they aren't good enough to go to the next level or like be the or have the showcase the innate greatness that they have. So I'm coming to you. I'm an entrepreneur and I have this imposter syndrome of me being a podcaster. What happens next? Where do we go from there?
I want to go back to who you are truly, right? Ask yourself. I have this 3 A's, triple A, I call it. First A is awareness. Are you fully aware of what you're currently going through?
Okay.
Or are you still just avoiding it? Another A is acknowledge. Are you acknowledging the emotional toll on you that it bothers you consistently to become that version of you that wanted to transition to as a podcaster?
Yeah.
Lastly is A, accept. Are you fully accepting that part of you or are you repressing it? So if you're repressing it, so there's this subconscious belief that you're still not fully aware and not accepting. And acceptance is a portal to change.
Yeah.
So some people wanted to extend or expand from, say, for example, for me, I am also a podcaster. But how is it connected to who I am as at my core? It's because I wanted to create value for people. I wanted to provide holistic stories or ways for people to have resources for their transformation.
Right, right.
So really coming back to that part of what am I? Who am I at my core? And what am I not fully aware of that I am subconsciously operating from the mask that I have been subconsciously using to portray, right? So coming back to the authenticity again, really, who are you at your authentic core? So when you know that foundation, again, the seeds that you have planted from the beginning, it's easy to expand from different areas because the value that you have, you as an entrepreneur, you've been here in the game, like what is your why? And who are you providing in this expansion, right? As a podcaster. It's not the identity,
Yeah.
but it's actually the core value that you are actually providing or giving to this space or to the collective, as I may call it.
Okay. So bringing it back, you said step one is your authentic self, right? What does that mean? Because okay, what does that mean? Like how? So you're asking me that, and I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like how do I find that, or how do I describe that?
Yeah. That's a really good question. So authenticity means is, are you fully showing up in different spaces as you are without conforming? Or are you fully showing up in different spaces as you are without over compromising your values? Are you fully showing up in different areas of your life as you are with conviction that this is who I am and I can create healthy boundaries to show up consistently as I am? So authenticity doesn't mean like you got to be real. It's actually about holding or upholding your truth that this is who I am and I'm aligned to, let's say for me, I am love. I call myself love. So if I show up here in podcast, I'm love. I'm giving love. I'm giving
Yeah.
love to you. I'm giving love to the audience, whoever is watching right now. And I find that authentic for me. And if I feel inauthentic, it means I'm conforming to societal perception to who I am supposed to be.
Okay.
So, inauthentic self is either compromising your values in appeasing people's perception about you because of the subconscious belief of
Yeah.
fear of being judged.
For sure.
And then another part is you people please, right? Which is natural for us entrepreneurs. We
Right.
wanted to provide quality service.
For
We
sure.
wanted to give the best. So why am I people pleasing? Is it to the extent to compromise who I am as a person, to really have this person believe that this is who I am?
Okay.
So that is authentic. It's the first question that you would come to, and be aware. And I want to bring the compassion because that takes a lot of time to even discover and remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have a conversation. I tell you who I am authentically. Like I am how would I even describe myself? You know, tell you what was so crazy when you ask people to talk about or describe themselves, they like can't do it sometimes. Like, do you
Right.
come across that problem a lot?
Well, I've been doing personal development for a decade now.
Okay.
Before that, I used to feel like I had to identify myself with what I do.
Right.
So now I ask people, instead of asking, what do you do? I ask, what do you love to do?
Love to do.
Because for me, it's not about what you do. What you do is an extension of who you are. What you are being, let's say you love playing games or playing video games. So it means you're very virtually innovative. You like to interact virtually. So that's some part of you that your inner child is activated.
Right.
I do come across that in a society that I feel like, what do you mean that you're love? Like that's just who I am. And
That's who you are.
yeah, that's who I am. If I strip off what I do, let's say this life coaching, my bachelor's degree, or what people have known me for so long, who are you at that core,
For sure.
right? So for me, it's love and authentic and honest and just, I'm a fairy. I say I'm a fairy.
Well, fairy.
I'm a fairy. I'm
Okay.
magical. So things like that.
Things like that. So I can say that I am inspiration.
Yes.
I can say I'm inspiration. Or what about like I can say I am funny. Can I say that?
Yeah.
I feel like in the midst of everything, like I'm a part-time comedian. I tell people I'm a part-time comedian. Now I can't get on stage and tell jokes, but just naturally I like to laugh and I like to make people laugh. So if I'm saying who I am authentically, I can say, hey, I am inspiration and I am funny.
I find it, you are joy because you bring joy.
Joy.
Yeah.
I like that.
You
That's
bring
better.
joy,
I
because
am joy. y'all.
Yeah.
I am joy.
so with this, right, that's the energy that you are aligning yourself with.
Okay.
And with that, they see the value in you, in what you do, because you say you're joy. Oh, I feel the joy in what you do. So I always have this mission, or just like my own principle, that I want people to remember me for how I've made them feel. So with you, with your content creation, with this podcast, you have that natural way of making people laugh. It means you're giving joy, and that's who you are. You are joy. And I love how Abraham Hicks have said this, that our purpose in life is to be at our fullest of joy. And if you are joy, then you're being purposeful in what you do as an entrepreneur.
Yeah. Okay. So like one thing I say, and I say this all the time, like my background is started in entrepreneurship as throwing parties and events. And so people used to ask me like, what do you like about it? And I used to say teeth. And they'd be like, what does that mean? And I say, when I'm at my event and I look around and if all I see is teeth, that means people are smiling and having a good time, right? And whatever problem that they're having outside of here, they're not worried about it in this moment because they're enjoying themselves. Right. And so that was always one of my descriptions of, like, I would say, of why I started throwing parties. Because whatever problems you have, you're forgetting them. You're leaving them at the door, and you about to, in this moment, you're just enjoying life and yourself. So that was always like something so dope to me that I like to say.
There you go. It's aligned to joy.
It's aligned to joy.
Because you bring joy.
Yeah.
It's the energy.
For sure.
Your energy introduces you before you introduce who you are at paper.
Yeah.
So with that energy that you're emanating, you open the room with that smile, with that, you just want to spread laughter. You just want to spread lightness. And I think that's the part that who you are authentically.
So joy is who
Yeah.
I am authentically. What's next? What do I do with it?
So
What do I do with it?
yeah, so let's say, for example, you wanted to expand, right? You wanted to bring more joy. So where do you channel this part of you in your business?
Right.
It's easy to really stack up in expanding when it's so authentic to who you are. Because when you are at joyful state, it doesn't feel imposterous because you're having fun. You know who
Right.
you are. You're not trying to be somebody else, but you're creating an idea to life that is so grounded to who you are. And people will say, oh, that's so joyful. I know who that is. That is from Terry.
Yeah.
That is so Terry. Oh, that's so Terry. Because they felt the joy.
Yeah.
And no matter what you create, whether it's a product, whether it's a show, that's already your brand, basically, your personal brand. That's your energetics in the business itself. So you can expand whatever that is. And if it's aligned to where it's easy to be in different spaces of the community that you wanted to create further from where you are.
So joy is my thing, and and I need to expand it and bring it out to live through me in a sense and push it out to clients, community,
Yeah.
personal brand. I like that you said personal brand because
Yes.
I'm really big on personal branding. So that good. I like that.
Yeah. I want to bring in also because there's difference between your business and who you are, right? I would bring into what is your core, who are you at your core? And then what is your business at your core? So by identifying what do you truly value in business. So in my business, I value authenticity, balance. I value really community. So if you have that as an entrepreneur, it's also easy to create further from different areas. Let's say for you love joy. And it seems like you love really being in part of the community.
Yeah.
So that's one of the
For sure.
business,
That's definitely one of my core values for my
yes.
business.
So
Community.
it's so easy to how do I say expand from a different community because that is your business values. Now, how can you make that value personally to who you are? I would encourage people to bring in your energetics, your sauce, basically, your energetic alignment, which is joy. And that is your personal brand itself. So bring that to the community. So anytime you show up to meetings, to workshops, to events, you already have that with you.
Yeah.
And it's easy. Even with products that I create, it has to be, okay, for me in the business, this product has to create or bring value to people
Right.
that would that would feel joy for you.
For sure.
Right?
For sure.
For me, for balance. So how can someone balance their thoughts, their ruminating thoughts? So I have a product, let's say, for example, the Inner Being Journal that I created. So this brings balance to someone's consciousness. So they could release their blocks, their internal blocks, their mind's way of inner critic, right? That ego's way of telling you that you're not good enough and stuff.
Yeah.
So this journal is a channel for someone to have that balance.
And this is the journal you've created.
Yes.
You have.
Yeah.
Okay. So I like that. So I have your journal. Do you have one here? Did you bring one?
Yeah, no, that's the word.
Man,
Because
it's
this
okay.
morning,
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get one and I'm gonna work with
ship
it.
it to you. Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to kind of talk about that a little bit because I always want to get into journaling,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not consistent enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not consistent enough to where it was like, okay, every day I'm going to write or
Mm-hmm.
anything like
Mm-hmm.
that. But I also think that, and I know this from me as a coach, when I'm telling people to like create content and
Mm-hmm.
post content, consistency don't always have to mean every day.
Yeah.
Right. But I think that a lot of times when we say in my community, we say the scary C word, which is consistency, is that most people think consistency means it has to be every day.
Mm-hmm.
And so in your journal, if
Mm-hmm.
I was to have your journal, is this something is this an everyday thing?
Mm-hmm.
Is this a once a week thing, or is it a go at your own pace type of thing?
Mm-hmm.
Can we talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, yeah, that's a really good point. And what I would invite people is to check in. What does consistency means for you?
For you.
Because everybody has different version of consistency. Say you have all this schedule in a day, and someone made it at least one journal or 5 minutes to journal what they wanted to feel that
Right.
day.
Right.
And then the next day, they just thought, oh, I couldn't write it down, but I wanted to feel amazing today. So that's technically, it's like you are journaling in your thoughts, but not physically journaling it. So there are different ways for people to channel or to really project what they wanted
they want.
to do, right? So I would start with that. And then I would bring in as well this point that reprogramming requires consistency, right? Repetition.
Yeah.
So, how committed are you in fully reprogramming yourself? Because just like any other old software, right? You have to troubleshoot,
Yeah.
you have to try, you have to see where is the loophole or which one is working for you. And lastly, I would bring in the question, okay, when was the last time you were so consistent in showing up for you fully? And how did that feel?
Right.
So when it felt really good, stack that energy again to your drive so you can be inspired in journaling. Because it's not about the journaling, it's the feeling that it will give
That
you.
it gives you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the energy that you wanted to really look forward to.
Okay.
So with that, consistently look forward to the feeling of what it will give you when you journal. And the journal can be purposeful in different ways. For me, I love journaling my thoughts when it's overwhelming.
Okay.
Because when it's overwhelming, you're going too fast. So by writing it down, I slow things down.
I like that.
Yes.
That's good. So because being overwhelmed create like paralysis in a sense, right? It's like I have all these things to do. I'm overwhelmed. I ain't doing nothing.
Yeah.
Right. And that happens a lot of times.
Yeah.
And so you're saying that when you're feeling overwhelmed, write it out, write the things out, and therefore that will help you slow it down so you won't seem as overwhelmed.
Yes.
Okay.
There's also, I'm going to go deep into this a little bit.
Let's
So
go deep.
people, okay. So I call this in my work, this framework called RAIN process.
Rain
Yeah,
process, like
RAIN.
Okay,
Yes.
cool.
So with R, so first recognize your thoughts.
Recognize your thoughts.
So which thought is actually dominant in your mind right now? And then A is acknowledge. Acknowledge. Is this thought coming from your fear or is it coming from love? So I'm simplifying things, right?
For sure.
So if it's coming from fear, acknowledge the emotion. So what do you feel right now in this moment by thinking about this? Where do you feel that in your body? And then I, which is investigate and inquire, right? Inquire, self-inquiry. Investigate, where is this coming from? Where is this thought coming from? Why am I feeling it this way? What? And then just touch it and activate your senses as you feel it. Let's say I'm feeling really overwhelmed right now. Where do you feel that in your body? So why, where, and when did this start?
When did it start?
Right? And then N is nourish. So
Nourish.
bring into, if it's coming from fear, what do I need to hear right now? Do I need to say, I am powerful? Do I need to say, I'm capable? Do I need to say, I am unstoppable? Do I need to just be hugged right now? Or do I need to just oh, I just need to call someone
Call a friend,
to just like really feel or have this soundboard of thoughts. And nourishing means it has to come from a place of how can I hold myself down in a compassionate way without judging your thoughts. That's my challenge for someone.
Okay. That is a very great perspective. I really like that. So rain. So say it again. R is for
Recognize your dominant thought.
Your dominant thought. A is for acknowledge.
Acknowledge if it's coming from fear or love.
Fear or love.
And acknowledge your emotions.
Okay.
I is investigate.
Investigate.
Yes, and inquire deeply.
And N is nourish.
Yes.
I like that. So did you come up with that on your own, or is that something that you learned?
I came up with my own and then just like combined things there that I learned from my program and other courses that I've been to.
Sure.
Yeah.
I like that. That's really good. And is that in your journal?
No, that's in my coaching.
Not. It's in your coaching. You like, listen, you got to hire me for that. This is too
hire
good.
Me and I'll give you more.
Listen,
and
hire
I'll
me,
teach
we'll
you
work
other
through
frameworks
it. For
to
sure.
go deep into that.
Yeah, that's really good. I really like that perspective. I think that is really good. So because as entrepreneurs, and you know, I was having this in a previous conversation that we can't do nothing without the proper mindset. And I think that is something that people skip past, right? If I'm doing a course and chapter 1 is mindset, I'm gonna skip chapter 1 and go to chapter 2 because a lot of people feel like I don't need this. I don't need it. I got it already, right? And as I say people, I mean me, because I used to be one of those people that would be like, the mindset stuff I'm not worried about. Just show me this. Like, I'm not trying to hear that, but not knowing that I can't even do what I'm trying to do without the mindset, right? And so I think that is skipped upon, but that's the most important. It is the most important because we can't do anything without the proper mindset, right? So I appreciate you saying that, or this is the field that you're in. And so what has, as a life coach, maybe someone is watching this and people hear that term, because someone hit me up one day and was just like, Terry, are you a life coach? I need help. And I was like, no, I ain't no life coach. And they was like, but you be like kind of inspiring, trying to inspire. I'm like, yeah, but that ain't my field, right? And so as you as a life coach, as other people try to be life coaches, what is something that you see in this realm of life coach that like can give you guys like a bad rep, or like what's something that you see that can give you guys a bad rep that you see like, I don't like that?
Oh, yeah. That's a great question, because I was actually talking about this with my friend last night. We're having wine and we're winding down it tonight, and just talking about the aspect of perceiving someone to be a guru or who knows everything, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I didn't start as a life coach to be deemed as life coach. I started as a Reiki practitioner. So I'm a Reiki master, and a Reiki master.
What is that?
It's an energy healing.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm also a clinical certified hypnotherapist.
Okay.
And I also do emotional freedom technique practitioner. So coining it down to life coach, I think a lot that I don't like is that they are ego driven. So for me is I follow, like I said, I am love. So I'm a heart-centered person. So in everything that I do, all of those ideas, all of the things that I shared here, it's not from me, it's from God.
Okay.
It's from the highest source. So for me, if I'm coming from that space, I don't put myself in the pedestal for someone to see me that I will solve all of your problems.
Right.
But what I do, what is the difference between me and the other life coach is I empower someone like you to see that power inside you, that what I can see truly that you are capable of. And that is, for me, is life coach.
Okay.
Life coach, for me, doesn't mean that necessarily that, oh, she will answer all of what I need right now, fast track it right now. For me, if I could extract that out of you, and you're able to witness it and utilize it and synthesize it daily and embody that, I think that's you embodying your superpower.
For sure.
So that my job is done, because you know your superpower now.
Right.
And now I can show up authentically in the business, because in business there's ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
So you want to ground yourself to that space where I feel empowered by my life coach because she guided me to get to this space. So that's what I perceive the bad rep is, because to be honest, I don't want to be coined just one thing because I'm multidimensional.
For sure.
And it's just so easy to say I'm a life coach. I could just say I'm a life coach. Everybody can be a life coach. You don't have to be certified. I'm a certified life coach, but to be formally trained, what is that part of you that you wanted to provide, right? The value of what? For me, it's quality. Right. So that's the part that we're actually talking about with my friend, to not put someone into pedestal, but to be in partnership, to work with that life coach, to collaborate, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and I asked that because I interviewed a fitness trainer one time, and it was just like, you as someone who like went to trainings and actually got certificates and learned this stuff and like been practicing it and studying it for years, then someone just come in and worked out, and now they got some following on social media, and they just like, oh, I'm a fitness trainer, right? And it's just like, no, I did all these years of studying. Or like someone that does hair, like, no, I actually got my cosmetology license, and you just doing it out your kitchen, and you trying to call yourself like a hairdresser when it's like, no, like I am, and I put in a lot of work, and you just like got some traction on social media, and now you're calling yourself this, but it's like you're actually not certified for it, right? And so I know that people take it personal because they've done years of work to be called this certain thing, and there's other people just come up and just be like, no, I'm doing this now. And so that's why I was asking on your perspective on that, of like a life coach and someone who has degrees and did in the work, and then somebody that's just been like, nah, I talk to my friends, and because I talk to my friends and help them out, and you know, I got some following on social media, like hire me. I took some influencer, I took some other influencer course. I know a little something now. It's like, I'm the life coach.
I appreciate that point, because I think that really is so important to put out there. It all boils down to what is the lane that you're actually creating. Right? So for me is, I could easily compare the people in the industry myself with, but I didn't. I choose not to, because I'm going to come back to my whys. Why am I doing this? Am I doing this to prove people that I'm worthy to help people, or am I doing this to really to serve? Okay. So by coming back to that, in service, right? Like, you always have to come to, who knows how much hours that person have done to understand the kinesthetics of fitness. For so happen the algorithm gave them that wish to be to be viral.
Yes.
And then I always want to bring in the abundance mindset of, if you really know who you are and you know that you're so good at what you do, I don't think it really matters, because my clients don't ask me, what are your credentials? They come to me because they need help. Yeah. So bring that into who you are confidently as you show up to this industry that there's so many shadows and in between. If you're really confident to, you know what you're doing, and you're really after for people, to help people, and also, of course, revenue growth, right? Sure. I think it doesn't really matter, because people will find you. Yeah. And they will be the one who will judge. The tribe will find you. Yeah. There's one client of mine who found me from social media. I don't know. She flew all the way from Canada just to see me. Wow. To have session with me. And I was so flattered. And I asked her, what made you actually go all the way here? No, because I just want to understand who you are in person, and I see how much passion you do in social media. And I was like, wow, thank you. And I just see a lot of, social proof is so important.
Social proof is very important.
Super
right? We
important.
live in today's time to where if in a video, it didn't happen, in a sense, right? So social proof is very important as an entrepreneur. Okay. Cool. So let me ask you this on the entrepreneur side. Okay, let's say there is someone out there that is a life coach, but they're struggling to find their niche,
Niche.
or they're struggling to find new clients and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
How has, okay, let me back it up. How has being a life coach done for you professionally
Mm.
as an entrepreneur?
Can you ask that one more time? Because there's
For
like
sure.
three layers that
For
I'm
sure.
hearing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I want to get into life coaching,
Uh huh.
but I don't know like the revenue stream or how
Mm.
is it like. So I'm watching this and I see you and I'm just like, okay, well, I want to know like
Mm.
how has life coaching been to you as a person,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm thinking about getting into that field.
I see. I see. Okay. So you coming to me, this is what I'm hearing. You can correct me. You coming to me wondering how will this field generate something or in the income wise, or how would it further my career if
For
I
sure.
get into it? Is
Yes.
that right?
Yes.
Okay. So I would have someone start with what is that one thing that you're so good at, that you feel so confidently good at, and monetize that. I
Yeah.
would say start with that. Meaning, I always love the business model of free things, right? Give freebies.
Yeah.
So perhaps have five people whom you know are struggling or who wants your help on your consciousness right now, and then have them help them
Right.
for free in exchange of um,
Testimonial or something.
testimonials, and then ask their feedback.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great business model in the beginning, in understanding what you're good at and what you can expand from. And in terms of revenue, I would start with where do you feel comfortable energetically to price yourself? I started as a Reiki practitioner in the beginning. I just healed clients. I did session probably like hundreds of them for free in the beginning.
Mm,
And just to really enhance and get
for
better at what
sure.
I do
Yeah.
and get comfortable with it. And then once you get comfortable and you see the transformation, that is priceless.
Yeah.
And one session, someone just unravel their trauma and then become like the full creative that they are. That itself doesn't really, and then it boosts you to like, okay, I'm good at this. And then drive yourself from there.
Hmm.
And
I,
then,
I think
yeah.
that's I think that's I don't, not to interrupt, but
Mm-hmm.
I think that that's really important because just in entrepreneurship overall, a lot of people sometimes want to just come out the gate just charging,
Yeah.
and it's just like you aren't even like perfected your craft yet,
Yeah.
right? And so that's why they have like internships and
Mm-hmm.
different things like this,
Mm-hmm.
because it's like you need to study and become better before
Mm-hmm.
you start trying to
Mm-hmm.
take that to the next level. So I think that's really dope that you said that, because I feel we miss out on the journey of
Yeah.
becoming better because we're not actually practicing our craft, because no
Yeah.
one's hiring you. Like, you're new, no one's hiring
Exactly.
you. So you can't even become better at your craft because no one is hiring you. But if you're able to offer it for free,
Yeah.
you can now like get the practice and perfect your skill set
Mm-hmm.
and be able to come up with your, let's say, formula slash
Mm-hmm.
curriculum
Mm-hmm.
that you're now able to use over and over. And so I think that's very important that
Mm-hmm.
you said that, because giving free stuff draws the crowd in and then
Yeah.
gets the experience, right?
And 90% of, well, I would say now it's 80% of my business is word of mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So just imagine how many people could help you leverage those times that you've
For
spent with them.
sure.
And
Sure.
you don't have to do marketing. You don't
Right.
even have to do anything at all, but to just be at your best with the intention of, I want to be really good at one thing,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll expand from there. I have a friend who we were brainstorming. I told her, even though you're a nurse right now, because she wanted to open her own aesthetic business.
Yeah.
So instead of you thinking that I am not going to get money at this amount of time of me doing this, why don't you apply in a spa and then learn some nicks and knacks of that business?
Sure.
and then apply it once you're ready to open your own brick and mortar. So it's a win-win. You're being trained and also being paid.
Yes, you're getting
So
trained on somebody else's
yes,
mind.
so that's also another possibility. So you don't have to quit your 9 to 5 job,
Right.
but again, it's all about the intentionality of what is my goal? What do I value right now? What do I want to increase intrinsically so I can be good at what I do?
Okay.
So when I launch that business, okay, I'm so confident and let me now price it at this rate.
Okay. That's good. I like that. Okay. So I just want to recap because I
Uh-huh.
think that there's some valuable information and I just want to make sure people just like didn't miss any of it. So as an entrepreneur, I need to know who I am authentically,
Yes.
right? I need to know what I bring to my clients, like the energy. I need to know that authentically. And then after that, I am now moving into, as your abbreviation or acronym, RAIN,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so after I'm going through that, I go through your the rain, as you say, and then what's next? What should I do next? Because I know there's someone watching this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they are just struggling, right? As we talked about
Mm-hmm.
mindset, and we know that how important it is.
Mm-hmm.
I deal with entrepreneurs a lot, and even in the content creation space, a lot of people have the wrong mindset. They think that they're not good enough. They think that they that other people are better, and so because they're better, they can never get to that level. They're not running their own race. They're doing the comparison game, right? And they just like I just want to give up.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to quit
Mm-hmm.
because I can't seem to get
Mm-hmm.
to that next level.
Okay, so we processed the mindset, right? We
Mm-hmm.
we understood who we are. Now it's a time to embody who you are. I would bring in like, do you feel connected truly to who you are when you show up in social media or in your business? If you're still comparing, it means you're judging yourself still.
Right.
It feels like you're still inauthentic showing up. So repeat it over and over again to understand, okay, what is this blockage?
Right.
Why can't I just be who I am in showing up? Because you're not really comparing yourself to them. You are still feeling not enough
Not
inside you.
enough.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So, and that is a thief. You know, it could creep you out, and I call that your ego. And ego is edging God out, meaning
Edging God
it's
out.
really separating you from your superpower, which is the authentic core
For
inside you.
sure.
Imagine just feeling that authentic self, standing up here, showing up, creating contents. I don't really think whatever people think of what I do, but I know it's really good and it will help people.
Right.
Every content, who knows who's watching, right?
Yeah.
Who knows going to
Never
be
know who
inspired
watching.
in what you do? But I just remember this when I first published my episode 5 years ago. And she reached out to me. She's from Philippines. I don't know her. And she said, "Thank you for sharing your story because you made
Wow.
me stop
Yeah.
suicidal thoughts." And that in itself already, I realized that you being authentically you creates that power, a
For
ripple
sure.
effect.
For sure.
So it's not about what to do next, but it's actually to how can I be
How
more
can you
of
be
who I
more?
am. Yeah.
Dang, that's good. This has been a really good conversation. I really appreciate this because I'm learning, right? As someone, I look at myself as a leader,
Mm-hmm.
but as a leader, I'm still a student
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
there's always something new for me to learn, and I always feel like I'm a sponge to knowledge, right? Because there's a lot of stuff I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
and so at any opportunity I can learn something new, I'm always open to it, and I feel like I learned something new today, right? I bring joy
Yeah.
to people. I've never looked at it that way, and I don't think I would have ever thought about that without like your guidance right now. So I really appreciate that. You're really dope.
Oh, thank
You're really
you.
dope.
Thank you.
Um, so how can the people like? Do you have anything going on?
Mm-hmm.
Anything coming up?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you have for someone that's watching this?
Yeah, I'm really excited because for the last 2.5 years, I've been working on this program.
Okay.
And I beta launched it 2 years ago, but it works so well. Now I'm just ready. I've just added all of the things that I've shared here.
Mm-hmm.
It's a self-paced program, and I call it Core Essence Program. And it's being launched on October 28th.
Oh,
And this is a space for anybody who wants to be more of who they are. Be authentic.
2 days.
Be true to yourself. Yes,
Yeah.
in 2 days. There's a lot of tools in there that you can utilize practically. You don't have to go deep and break through those limited beliefs or blockages in a way that would help you sustainably to create that alignment to your business, whether to your relationship, to any goals that you wanted. And I wanted this program when I started 10 years ago,
Right,
and there's
right.
nothing like this. So
Nothing out there like this.
there are people who say that it is, but it's for me, it's very authentic and
Yeah.
very, like you say, consistently would enhance someone's superpowers, I would
Right,
call
right,
it.
right. Yeah.
And people will feel like just who they are. You can say you're a weirdo and it's still cool, you
Yeah.
know?
I'm
So
definitely fear I'm a weirdo.
that's what's coming up. Yeah, I know, I feel that too. I am a
Yeah.
weirdo too.
Yeah, and I embrace it.
Yeah, I always
love
say like
it.
I'm a fairy. I would say that I'm a fairy.
Yeah.
But yes, and also if you wanted to work with me, I love connecting with people. Just connection call is for free. I could help you in 30 minutes. We could dive deep into what you're currently going through, and if you're interested to hop on that, I can definitely offer a one-on-one coaching, which I usually do like for 6 months or a year.
Okay.
Lastly, I host retreats, and I call it Energy in Motion Retreats, and it's coming up next year on July 2025. I have a wait list. I only have 4 slots left. So if you wanted to go in this magical realm of consciousness where you could just expand and just be you, like an
Right.
inner child to play, I would invite someone to sign up for that wait list. It's going to be in Mount Shasta. So it's the root chakra of the earth.
Okay.
And lastly, I also do like workshops, in-person workshops. I call it Energy in Motion as well, which is where movement meets mindfulness.
Okay.
So I combine all of that
Combine
holistic
it all.
modalities just to help someone really release that blockages.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have an entrepreneur community, and I teach them every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 o'clock. I'm putting you on the spot here because I like to put people on the spot, and hopefully you say yes, because then I got the proof that you said yes, right? I would love for you to come like talk to the entrepreneurs in the community. I think that'd be really dope. I think your knowledge and what you bring to the table would be really dope, and I would love to bring you in and let you talk to them one time.
First of all, I just want to say thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you seeing the value of what I do because that's what has been my mantra this year is to be bold.
Okay.
Be bold at what I do.
Be bold.
Yeah, like be omnipresent to what I do. And I feel like ever since I became bold, people have witnessed what I do is so valuable for them. And thank you for inviting me. That's such an honor. And yes, absolutely. I love community. So I swear, like there's one lady from Florida is inviting me as well in an in-person event there because I met them through online. But I definitely want to support.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm there.
Definitely. Cool.
Definitely.
Cool.
You got me goosebumps just
the-
by sharing.
Can you tell the people like how can they find you? Where do they find you at?
Yeah. If you're in social media, I'm very active in Instagram at Holy Khrey, HOLIKHREY. I also have Facebook, and you can find us KHREY, Khrey, MUSNI. I also have my own podcast. It's Holy Khrey Podcast, your dose of holistic healing. If you want to like dive deep into different holistic modalities and different mentors of mine, who are also there that I've interviewed, different tools that what I've shared here.
Right.
They're there. Other than that, I also have my website at www.holykhrey.com. You can subscribe on my email list. I give a lot of freebies like free meditation, hypnosis that would help you to really break through some limited beliefs, and workbooks that would guide you as well practically to go deeper into becoming in one with yourself.
That's
So,
super dope. Let me. We're gonna end it, but I do gotta ask you just one question because
Okay.
you said this a couple times. So you said hypnosis, right? So you like when people hear hypnosis, you think the watch people going like this, people fall asleep, and you making them do whatever you tell them what it is. Like
I love that you brought that because I want to dismantle that.
dismantle that myth because I'm thinking like, okay,
Because there is a performative hypnosis who people put to sleep, right? They do that. What I do is I go dive deep into your subconsciousness to empower so you can feel at ease, you can feel open, you can feel lighthearted. So what I do is lasting impact that would help you embed, the software, the new software in your mind and upgrade your subconsciousness.
software.
So you no longer operate from an outdated beliefs, but you operate an upgraded software,
That's so dope.
right? Your iOS 17 what now?
Yeah, right. It's
Instead
thinking
of
like
iOS
18.2 or
10?
something. Yeah. That's so funny that you said. I remember having a conversation with a friend about that, and it was just like your software is outdated. Like
Yeah.
you can't even operate in the new you because you're still using old software.
Yeah.
So that was really great that you said that.
Yeah, that's what I do for
yeah.
hypnosis. Just so you know, it's not a trick. It's actually a long-lasting impact for you to unconsciously become consciously competent at what you do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to thank you for this. I like to thank you for coming here. This has been a really great conversation, and I learned a lot. I definitely can't wait to really like rewatch this and take notes. Right, I'm a note taker. I always say note takers are money makers, so I'm definitely going to rewatch this and take some notes on the knowledge that you shared today. So, is there anything you would like to say to anybody that's watching before we head out of here?
I would say it feels really uncomfortable. Go an inch deeper. Go an inch deeper to really try because most of the people who regretted on their last day of their bed, their life, they regret of not even trying. So go an inch deeper to that discomfort and just discover and be curious. Always be curious of what life can offer you. So yeah, that's all I could say.
That's good. That's good. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in to the Entrepreneur Experience podcast. Listen, there's going to be a link for you to watch a different video that we've done here. Click it. Make sure you like and subscribe to the podcast. We appreciate your attention, your views. We'll check y'all later. Peace.